We're back for our daily college basketball best bets here on the channel for Friday, November 14th. Another positive day yesterday, 3-2. Shout out to the Cal Golden Bears with the ultimate backdoor cover. I mean, I know they got kind of back in the game. Final result was always pretty certain, not going for the Bears. But Cal goes on the road and finds a way to dominate in the second half and somehow cover the spread. Shout out to UMass for covering by a half a point. Obviously, Purdue earlier in the day as well. So a 3-2 day we did not hit with the two SWAT games. So that sucks, but a 3-2 day. Again, we're building positive momentum. Let's get more of the same here today. Folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily college basketball best bets here on the channel. Later today, we will have our NBA predictions out on the channel as well. Sorry, best bets for the NBA Cup today, so make sure to go check that out later today. Also on the channel, our week number 12 college football predictions. You're not going to want to miss that video. Also, that's over 4 hours long. Also, our best bets for college football are going to be out today at noon. Also, NFL predictions are posted earlier in the week, and our UFC 322 predictions and best bets are both on the channel, so go check that out over on Greedo Plays MMA. Okay, on to the first now of our 5 best bets for this Friday college basketball slate. Nothing in the morning. There's a game between Coppin State and Central Michigan. I'll pass. I'll take the Pittsburgh Penguins early in the day money line if you're interested. Games in Sweden. I think they're better than the Preds, but we don't do hockey on the channel. But yeah, I would take the Penguins if you want anything for the morning. That's not an official best bet. Regardless, the first of the college basketball slate. Let's start things off with High Point University on the road at UAB. I think High Point should easily handle the Blazers. Our first game is going to be at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern time, and we're going to get deep into the night tonight. Just you wait. Yes, that means we're going to be talking about Hawaii at the end of the video. So we're going to have a late night of college hoops. So we're going to start at 4:30 instead of 3:30 or 4. 4:30 start time, UAB versus High Point. I believe High Point's better than UAB. I've seen UAB play this season. They hosted Alabama State, and they lost to Alabama State at home. Yikes. You know, it's one thing to lose to a SWAC team when you're going to their place. To host a SWAC team in a bye game and lose is just unbelievable stuff. All right, that right there, major red flag on UAB. They're a 1-2 team this year. They went to Raleigh, North Carolina, and got embarrassed by the Wolfpack, losing 94-70. They did beat the Delta Devils earlier in the season. Okay, they beat them by 50. Ooh, wow. Yeah, and they lost to UAB. That right there, I mean, should show you where UAB's at this season. Again, a team last year who saw quite a bit of success, obviously, and they lost their main player, the guy for this team, Yaxel Lendenberg. Lendenberg is now at Michigan. He's going to be playing pretty quality minutes for them this season. But he was their guy last year. Lendenberg took them all the way to the NIT. They lost in the quarterfinals over in Irvine to the Anteaters. They had Christian Coleman as well, who played really good basketball last season for UAB. Was their back-to-back seasons. He transferred it to Stillwater to go play at Oklahoma State. So you lose your 2 top players, and you know this roster is completely taken a hit. I mean, it's an almost unrecognizable team. Jabari McGee as well is now at Mississippi State. So don't get me wrong. There was a crap ton of talent last year at UAB. Everybody's gone. So it's just a completely new lineup. You're 1-2 this season, and your last game you lose to Alabama State. And sure, the Hornets won the SWAC last season. That's awesome. Guys, UAB came into that game as a 19.5 point favorite and a minus 5,000 favorite on the money line. And they lost the game. That can't happen to you. It just can't. UAB was just, keeping Alabama State in the game throughout, and obviously the Hornets pull away at the very end. Again, in a straight bye game for the Blazers. They're taking on the High Point Panthers, a team that does feel like they are head and shoulders above the rest of the Big South, at least on paper this season. I know, High Point has quite a bit of money, at least that's what I have gotten from, a Costco guy's TikTok. No, I'm joking. Like, I know High Point legitimately, they have a lot of funds. I know this is the school that is a private school that has, they have, what's the word for this? They have literally steakhouses. That's not the word I was thinking of, but they have formal dining is what it is. High Point is a rich place, but that means they have a bunch of money to spend on their basketball program. They don't have football. I'm fairly certain they don't. It's a straight basketball school. They get pretty good attendance at their games. I mean, their students legitimately eat steaks for dinner. None of this, dining hall crap. No. They have legitimate fine dining restaurants at High Point University. It's absurd. And they put a lot of money into their basketball program. Last year, 29-6 for High Point. They went 14-2 in the Big South. Their only losses on the road to UNC Asheville and on the road at Longwood, both of which they lost by 4 and 2 points respectively. So this is a good team. Last year, they did go to the NCAA tournament, and they ended up losing to the Purdue Boilermakers in the first round. No shame in that. So far this season, this team is 3-0, wins over D1 schools in Furman and Jacksonville, both blowing those teams out, and then a D2 victory over Averett. Okay. But High Point has looked good this season. This is a high-scoring team. They play quick. They score quite a bit. I like the squad a lot. They got Cameron Fletcher, who has really, gone from school to school. Again, High Point has money. They can get guys in the transfer portal. Fletcher has never really made it anywhere. He played at Kentucky, Florida State, Xavier. He's now starting and playing 25-ish minutes a night at High Point. So that's a big-time player for them so far this season. Rob Martin's been huge. He was at Southeastern Missouri last season. He's averaging 13.5 points a game. He was one of the best players last year on that Southeast Missouri squad. Now at High Point. Again, High Point's available. High Point's, they are able to go out there and get a bunch of players. A lot of their big stars last year no longer here, obviously, either due to graduation or transfer. Like, if you remember Juslin Bodo, big-time center for this team last season. He is now playing at Baylor, only averaging, he's still playing 20 minutes a game. Or no, he hasn't played yet for Baylor. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I assume he's injured. I hope he's just not inactive, because that would suck. Kamani Hamilton was a big-time player for High Point last year. Averaged 15 points per game. He's at UNLV. So again, all of High Point's best guys leave. I get it. They have replenished their roster, and they've gotten some really good pieces back. Again, that's what happens when you have a team and a school that is willing to put a lot of resources and funding into their basketball program. Okay, High Point will be completely fine here. I look at this UAB team. They look like a mess in the Alabama State game. Yeah, they're still at home here, but I mean, if you lost to Alabama State on your own home court, what the hell is High Point going to do to you? High Point last year was a pretty good non-con team. Now, they did screw us one game, I'll never forget, at UNC Greensboro. That was pretty bad. But other than that, they were a pretty good non-con team. They only lost to Greensboro, Missouri State, and then Norfolk State. Norfolk State and Brian Moore last year, that team was a unit. Okay, I watched that team in person over at Stanford. That Norfolk State Spartans team was really fun last year in the MEAC. Regardless, though, I'm going to take High Point to win this game. This feels like an easy line for me, to the point where I'm really questioning minus 135. I'm going to go with the High Point Panthers, though, to easily win this one. Again, give them the boom. They're going to beat the UAB Blazers. Straight money line pick here. Give me High Point minus 135 on the road in Birmingham, Alabama. On to our second best bet of the video, we move to a pick'em game over in Boulder, Colorado, all the way now at 6 o'clock. I believe this game's starting, right? Yes, 6 o'clock start time in Boulder. Providence goes on the road cross-country to take on the Colorado Buffaloes. Give me the Buffs. We faded Providence already this season. I'm going to do it again. Nothing against the Friars. I just don't love Big East basketball. Let me clarify. I don't love bottom-of-the-barrel Big East teams going non-conference. I don't like it, especially against other Power 5 schools. Okay, if you give me a bottom-of-the-barrel Big East team and put them against the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, or the Big 10, I'm probably going to pick against them. And especially on the road. And that's exactly what Providence has to do here. Last time we picked a Providence basketball game, it was a neutral site game at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, and they lost to Virginia Tech. Now, great game. Looked like Providence had it in the bag late. V-Tech, though, goes out there, ties it up with, as time is expiring, they go out and win the game in overtime, score 21 points in OT, and V-Tech wins the basketball game. Great game, again, at the Mohegan Sun. But now we get Providence on the road at Colorado. I get it. Colorado last year had their fair share of very difficult games. It doesn't really apply because they are pretty much a different team this season. Colorado, I believe they've completely overhauled the roster for the most part. In terms of either just grabbing, guys straight out of high school or portal as well. They've lost, the biggest players last year, Hammond is gone, obviously. There's some other players, again, who left. Barrington Hargress is now in Colorado. I've been waiting to pick a Barrington Hargress game for a little bit now. I know Hargress hasn't had the biggest impact so far for Colorado. He's playing, don't get me wrong. But Hargress, this is a guy who I've seen play quite a bit at that cesspool last year. He got out of the cesspool, so good on him. I'm happy for bro. He's now in Boulder. I've never been to Boulder, I assume. I've been to Denver. Anyways, I assume it's better than the cesspool that is Riverside, California. Let me clarify. UC Riverside, California. But Barrington Hargress, this is the starting point right now for Colorado, playing 35-plus minutes a night. He's a hooper. Just don't get me wrong. He has not fully gone off yet. This guy can drive like any other. He is a very good finisher at the hoop. Hargress is really good, okay? Colorado, again, they have some players back. Bengal Dak is back as well. Doc, this is a junior center who attempts a lot of three-pointers or a good amount of three-pointers. Sometimes he hits them. When he gets on fire, he will start hitting threes, but he's like a 25% three-point shooter. Just every time we bet against Colorado last year, Bengal Doc always hit a three-pointer, and it pissed me off. But hey, we're on the other side of it this time. Other than Doc, though, they're returning players. You've got, oh goodness, it's Kosaris is back. He's starting at the 2. Played 14 minutes in their last game, scored 8 points. They've just got a lot of, young players coming in the team as well, coming onto the team, excuse me. Again, it's just a fairly young team, but I don't love Providence. I mean, we went over the other day. I think the Friars, again, they've got players, but I'm looking at Colorado. This team scored so far, and I get it. They've gone to 2 very competitive games. They beat East Washington 102-97. Our East Washington pick the other day wasn't the best. We thought they could go to Seattle, play a competitive game. They did not. And then Colorado beat Montana State in their first game, albeit another very competitive game. But guys, it's something about the bottom of the Big East. I don't know. And yeah, Providence has scored in all their games so far. Do not get me wrong, right? This is a team that, like Colorado, more so than Colorado, honestly, has completely rehauled the starting lineup. Different players, obviously, from the transfer portal. Jason Edwards, probably the biggest name from Vanderbilt. He scored 28 points in the VTech loss. Corey Floyd starting as well for this team, too. I mean, there are players, right? Corey Floyd's back, don't get me wrong. But, those have been the 2 best guys. Jalen Sellers as well, who was at UCF last season. There are guys, don't get me wrong. There are players for Providence. They haven't been able to stop anybody defensively just yet. I know you can say the same exact thing about Colorado, but I think Colorado can outscore them. I mean, guys, Providence gave up 81 points to UPenn, the Quakers. And I get it. The Friars score 106 at the same time. They played Holy Cross and gave up 79 to the Crusaders. And yes, they scored 89 points. I don't love the defensive effort so far to the Friars. Teams can easily score off them. The same thing can be said about Colorado, but here's the thing again. You get 2 evenly matched teams, at least on paper, 2 teams that don't really play defense that well, and where's the game at? It's in Colorado. I'm going with the Buffaloes. That's really all I need to see. And yes, Colorado is a young team. Providence is the much more experienced squad. They start 3 seniors. Colorado's starting 1 right now, and Doc's a junior, isn't he? Yeah, Doc's a junior. They're not starting a single senior. I don't even know if they have a senior. Elijah Malone's a senior. That's it. Yeah, they don't have a single senior really playing big-time minutes. I don't care. I think Colorado at home, they've shown that they can score so far. Providence has shown an inability to play good defensive basketball. And I think Colorado can win the basketball game. I think they can. At home, again, that's really the difference maker for me. We have not seen Providence fully on the road yet. Yes, they played a road game or a neutral site game against Virginia Tech. That's in Connecticut. That's essentially a home game for Providence, who literally play in Rhode Island. That's Big East country up there. I'm taking Colorado. I don't know if anyone's ever said those words, Big East country. But yeah, I'm going to take the Colorado Buffaloes here at home. That should make all the difference. I believe they will be able to score when they need to in this game. I'm going to take the Buffs to win this one. -110, even lines here in Boulder. Give me Colorado here at home. Next up, we go on to our 3rd best bet of the video. Let's go to the biggest game of the day. You saw it in the thumbnail. I've been waiting to cash in on UCLA Bruins basketball in 2025/2026. Here we go. I know they've been kind of unimpressive so far. I get it. Like, they kept EWU in the game. They didn't really get away from Pepperdine. I understand. They look better in the West Georgia game, but is anyone expecting West Georgia to be good in 2025? No. Still, though, UCLA is 3-0, and it's something about big teams or good teams, big-time teams playing in big-time games. Guys, yesterday we took Purdue, and this is a very similar spot. We took Purdue. I know, again, the roles are reversed. We're taking the home team this time. But we took Purdue, a team that has struggled against the Oakland Grizzlies at home, the game prior to the biggest game so far of the year in Tuscaloosa against the Alabama Crimson Tide. I said, you know what? We're still taking Purdue. This is the better team on paper, and I still like them on this spot to cover. Same thing here with UCLA, okay? Not exactly the same thing. Little different. I think on paper, and honestly, watching these 2 teams, I think they're evenly matched. I know Arizona's beat Florida this year. I know. I think if UCLA was given the opportunity to play really good teams, I think they'd be fine. Okay? I don't know. I think they'd be fine. Arizona so far this season 3-0, but UCLA on top of that is at home. Now, do they really pack the Pauley Pavilion? I mean, they're going to for this game. Sorry, they're at the Intuit Dome this time around. My apologies. Well, again, I hope they pack the Intuit Dome. It's probably just going to be a lower bowl because, UCLA fans don't really exist, so... Yeah, I'd actually rather it be in Pasadena, or not Pasadena, in LA. That's fine. I'm still taking UCLA here. I think UCLA can win this basketball game, but we don't even need them to win. We just need them to cover 3.5 points. So this was a big discussion, last year with UCLA about how, really talent loaded they were. Obviously they lose some guys to the transfer portal. But, I mean, UCLA is a team that was really running like 8 guys deep, and we picked them quite a bit towards the end of the season. I really liked what they had going on. You lose Kobe Johnson to graduation. Lazar Stefanovic, former Utah player, graduates as well. Stefanovic graduated. Dylan Andrews transferred. Sebastian Mack transferred. Adai Mara all transferred. Adai Mara now over at Michigan, and a lot of people are going to see how good that guy is, and he's going to be an NBA player probably next season. Anyways, though, the biggest transfer, though, UCLA gets, yes, you lose Johnson, you lose Stefanovic, you lose Mack, and Adai Mara. You gain the best player who was in the transfer portal last season. I don't care what anybody says. The best player who was in the portal last season, this is what I've been waiting to talk about with UCLA all year long and through the offseason, Donovan Dent. I think Braden Smith's amazing, okay? But I kind of dropped it in yesterday. I think Braden Smith's really good. I don't know if he's the best point guard in college basketball. I don't know if, the Bob Cousy Award, in my opinion, should have gone to Donovan Dent. Donovan Dent's the best, my opinion, the best point guard in college basketball. And yes, he was doing it in New Mexico last season, and he hasn't really, he's been good. He hasn't really blown up just yet this season. This is the game where people understand how good Donovan Dent is, okay? I'm telling you, Donovan Dent at New Mexico is unbelievable. So far this season, only averaging 16.5 games. Did not play in their last game against West Georgia, but has already been confirmed that Donovan Dent, he's got a muscle strain, will play tonight. So that's absolutely massive. I would not take UCLA if Donovan Dent was not playing. He is going to play tonight. That means UCLA will be perfectly fine. Donovan Dent in the first game of the year against Eastern Washington, 36 minutes, 21 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds. The game against Pepperdine, only 12 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. Both of these games, Donovan Dent plays either 35 or 36 minutes. Just believe me when I say this, Donovan Dent, when he is at full go, he is the best point guard in college basketball. I think Braden Smith is great. And honestly, after watching yesterday's game, maybe I do need to retract that statement. Again, the ball's in Donovan Dent's court tonight because, Braden Smith yesterday. The dude is a hooper. Okay, I cannot deny that, obviously. The second half takeover for Braden Smith, remarkable. Anyways, though, I think Donovan Dent is spectacular. You bring back Sky Clark, Eric Daly, Tyler Bilodeau is still around as well. I really would have liked this team to bring back Adai Mara, but I understand why Mara left. Where would he start here? I mean, they're going to have to start Bilodeau. You start Eric Daly. You want to go super big and then start Mara too. They just couldn't do that. Obviously, again, bringing in Donovan Dent was the perfect thing to do. Glad, honestly, he did not follow his head coach going to Xavier. I get it, Patino, great and all, but yeah, obviously the Sun. But UCLA was supposed to start, I believe, Jamar Brown at the start of the year. They instead pivoted to Xavier Booker. I mean, that's fine. Booker's been starting so far this season. He's a Michigan State transfer. I have really no complaints about that. They're just playing really big still. Again, the difference between starting a guy like Booker and Adai Mara as well. Adai Mara is 7'4", and you can't really, you have to play him and Bilodeau and Daly and Booker. Yeah, that would just... Yeah, Bilodeau's a small 5, don't get me wrong, and really, I mean, when you start Xavier Booker, you really put him in there to be that defensive 5 because he's, I think, 6'10", 6'11". That's okay, man. I like this team quite a bit. Obviously, Trent Perry started the West Georgia game with Donovan Dent out. They should be fine in this spot against Arizona. As for the Wildcats, I understand this team has already beaten Florida this season. They look good in their other 2 games. They beat Utah Tech and they beat the Lumberjacks of Northern Arizona. I mean, this team is as hot as they can possibly be right now. Arizona lost, obviously, Caleb Love. They lose KJ Lewis. Doesn't really matter. They've looked fine. Again, Caleb Love, they lose the NBA draft. Love played a lot of college basketball. Arizona, I mean, really, all you need to look at so far with the Wildcats is that win over Florida. Now, that game's at a neutral site, and, they win. Florida does have to go cross-country for that game. Arizona is now going to LA. I don't know how well Arizona's going to travel here, but you do, again, play a Florida team without Walter Clayton, obviously. A new-look Florida team with Boogie Fland and company, and Thomas Haw, obviously, as well. And Arizona wins. Again, great. It's just new Florida team. Yes, they won the championship last year, but they got to go to Vegas. Arizona's right there from Las Vegas. I just don't know. My thing with Arizona, too, at the same time, they're fairly young. No, they are very young. You're starting 2 freshmen and then obviously 3 seniors, but you're bringing a lot of freshmen off of the bench. Obviously, I guess I mentioned it. Bryce James is on Arizona. He's probably going to redshirt. It just makes sense. I don't think he's nearly as good as good of a player as Bronny is or was in college. But regardless, there are a lot of young players for Arizona. Obviously, the biggest name, is definitely Koa Pete so far this season, averaging 19 points per game, put up 30 on opening night against Florida. Jaden Bradley's a returning senior, obviously. obviously, but Bradley's going to put up big numbers. He's already averaged 16 points per game so far this year. He's been at Arizona for the last 3 seasons. I'm still going UCLA, okay? Arizona's got to go to Los Angeles to play this basketball game. I love what Donovan Dent does. I think this lineup's still good. Again, last year they were loaded with talent. They're still loaded with talent. I firmly believe UCLA is one of the best teams in the country, and if they are that, well, they should go here at home at the Intuit Dome, kind of at home. I don't know why you're doing this. Inglewood is not close to LA. With traffic, that's a whole hour and a half. Whatever. I mean, I get it. Arizona probably wouldn't go there if they just play that game at Pauley, but like, why? Now, the upper decks, there's going to be no one in the upper decks. Whatever, dude. Give me UCLA to beat Arizona. I think they can, but okay. We're not betting on them to win. We're betting on them to cover. Let me clarify myself. Plus 3.5 for the UCLA Bruins at home or in LA, in Inglewood, against the Arizona Wildcats. Next up, let's move on to another game in the kind of it's not LA area. In the same city that houses the cesspool, right next to the cesspool, is Cal Baptist in Riverside, California. The Cal Baptist Lancers host the West Illinois Leathernecks. Don't think this game's close. I do not think this game's close at all. This should be a blowout. And really, there's no better way of looking at this than watching West Illinois' last game against Cal State Bakersfield. They go and play the Roadrunners, and they get straight beat up. They lose 74-58. Cal Baptist, I think, is better. No, I think they're way better than the Cal State Bakersfield Roadrunners. I've been surprised about Baptist so far this year, playing in the WAC that has like 7 teams. Again, everyone's going to leave the WAC, obviously, because this conference has no future. But Cal Baptist may be the best team here. I don't know. I need to really watch more Albany and Christian right now. I know Albany and Christian beat Omaha. We'll see. Regardless, I think the Lancers are really good, and that is put on full display with their victory against UCI. Okay, UCI might be the best team in the Big West, and they, we'll see. We'll see throughout the season. I think UCI probably still wins the Big West. I don't know. UCSD looked good in Fresno, so we shall see. But I think that UCI team's really good. I know, again, they lost a lot of guys to the portal and a lot of guys to graduation. Anyways, Cal Baptist goes to Irvine and beats them. It's huge. First game of the year, they beat South Carolina upstate. Upstate beat Fresno right after, so there's that. Cal Baptist, though, with a huge win at UCI, led in scoring by Martell Williams and Dominique Daniels. Martell Williams, senior guard for this team, started at Southern Utah, and now obviously at Cal Baptist. And Dominique Daniels is the guy for the Lancers. He does all the scoring. Only scored 16 in the UCI game, but trust me, he's going to not come off the court, and he's going to attempt pretty much every single shot given to him. That's, again, what Dominique Daniels does for the team. He's by far their best player. He is 5'10". He's very undersized. Well, technically, Martell Williams technically plays the 2 because obviously Daniels plays the 1. Again, senior guard from Compton, very undersized, but the dude can hoop. They're taking on West Illinois. West Illinois is bottom of the barrel of the OVC, in my opinion, and the OVC obviously is not a very good conference. At the top of the OVC can kind of get tricky, but bottom of the OVC, we're talking like the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles. We're talking, West Illinois. These are bad basketball teams. For West Illinois, 0-3 so far this season. Competitive at Radford, but still lose the game. They lose at Iowa, and they go to Cal State Bakersfield and get blown out. 74-58 final. Bakersfield completely puts belt to ass. West Illinois, I don't know if this is just a thing that they do. I don't know if this is just a preseason thing. They're playing literally everybody off of their bench. They're going straight 12-man rotation. And some of that is garbage time, I understand, but really, they go 11, 10-man rotation just in regular games, from what I've seen. Okay, I mean, that's a team that's still trying to figure it out. West Illinois, never been that good. At least recently, they have not been good. Last year, this was a bottom-of-the-barrel OVC team. I believe in 2023, they were not good either. Actually, no, they were decent in 2023. Regardless, the last 2 seasons, the Leathernecks have not been good. So far this year, again, 0-3. They're led in scoring in that game against Bakersfield by Francis Okuwasawa. Okuwasawa, the senior out of Powder Springs, Georgia, has gone from Division II school to Division II school, now playing at West Illinois. That's great. The overall team leader in points right now is Isaiah Griffin, though. Griffin is a senior 3, small forward, obviously, from Idaho State. Averaged 10.5 points a game for them last season, now starting at West Illinois. Only started 2 of the games, though, this season, oddly enough. Regardless, the way better basketball team is Cal Baptist. And again, that is on full display in the UCI game. They shut down UCI defensively. I mean, that's a team that has talent. Obviously, Jurian Dixon is the guy for UCI, sophomore guard, who I think very highly of, and they hold him to 16 points. And if you take away really like all the free throw opportunities UCI gets, that game really is not that competitive. And I know, again, Cal Baptist got to the line there, at the same time too. But I'm telling you, like, that's how highly I think of Irvine. This is a team that was very good last season. Yes, they lost a lot of pieces. Justin Hahn, Miles Che, and Ben Leitston are all gone now, but this is a team that went to the NIT finals last season and looked really great last season. And, you get a home game for UCI. They're 9.5-point favorites against Baptist, and Baptist goes in there and doesn't just beat them, but beats them by 8 points. That's impressive. It really is. And again, Dominique Daniels, we talked about that in the UCI game when we did actually pick UCI. Again, I'm correcting my wrongs of sorts here. We're now going to jump on the Lancer side of things. But I said at the time, like, Dominique Daniels is everything for this team. He is, but then if you get a scoring effort like you did at Martell Williams and the bench is contributing as well, I like Cal Baptist quite a bit. They didn't score the most against UCI, but UCI kind of plays that slow style of game. They play really good defensively. Not really concerned with Baptist's scoring. Look at how they played South Carolina Upstate. They scored 87 points in the Spartans at home. So I'm completely fine here. On top of that as well, West Illinois continues this long road trip. They are now, in California. This is a road trip that obviously started at Radford, then Iowa, then they go to Baptist on Bakersfield on Tuesday. Now they're in the Inland Empire. Ooh, what a place on earth. They go to the Inland Empire today to take on Baptist in Riverside. I'm going to go with Cal Baptist here to cover 12.5 points. This game should be a blowout, and it should be over in the first half, and it should just be a sprint in the second half for Baptist to continue to cover points here. This is fairly easy for me. Minus 12.5 for the Cal Baptist Lancers at home. On to our final best bet of the video we go. We teased it earlier, but let's go to the late night spot. Hawaii takes on Manhattan, and this is as far of a game as you can possibly get for a school, as the Manhattan Jaspers have done a lot of traveling. They've done a lot of traveling this season, but they have been in Hawaii for quite a bit, and now I'm not too concerned, right? So they played a neutral site game against Utah Tech in the Rainbow Classic, which, from my understanding, let me get this right, they did not have the Rainbow Classic last season, but it's just a little invitational thing that Hawaii does where, every bunch of teams just come to Hawaii and play them. And I believe it's just 4 schools and they all play each other. I think that's correct, right? Yes. Okay. Why does Hawaii just invite like the worst teams to go play them? I think Manhattan's going to cover. You invited a WAC school in Utah Tech. You invited an MAAC team in Manhattan to travel, literally 9 hours to come play you. And then you invited the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils, who are notorious for being the worst team in college basketball every single year. Whose only victory, by the way, is the Mississippi University for Women. Something about Hawaii, man. I don't know. There's something fishy always going on with Hawaii athletics. So I sat down and watched the entire Hawaii Mississippi Valley State game, obviously. It's a standalone game. We're going to sit down and watch the entire Manhattan game as well. Guys, the foul calls Hawaii gets is absurd. It is. And now they win quite easily. Now, again, shout out to the Delta Devils for covering, but Mississippi Valley State plays 0 defense in that game. So Hawaii just keeps on shucking 3-pointers up. And they were on fire that entire game from beyond the arc. They consistently hit their threes. They shot 44% from beyond the arc. Hawaii in total, 10 for 23 from beyond the arc. Again, they pretty much, got all, those were all open looks, by the way. Okay. That 3-point stuff is not going to entirely work in this game, in my opinion. I think Manhattan plays better defense than the Delta Devils. Hell, I know they do. The Delta Devils play the worst defense imaginable. Because they are bottom of the barrel, and obviously bottom of the barrel, the SWAC. Manhattan's a way better team than the Delta Devils, and I think they're probably the second best team in the Rainbow we're beating up on low-level teams classic. Right. We've seen Manhattan already beat Utah Tech. They beat the Trailblazers 79-75. Big victory for the Jaspers there. Led in scoring by Devin Dinkins, who played all 40 minutes in that game. Junior guard out of Washington, D.C. Player who started at George Mason, but who has played the last 2 seasons for the Jaspers, now officially starting for Manhattan. And they also got a big effort at 19 points out of Fraser Roxburgh from Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. This is his second year playing collegiate basketball in the States, and obviously second year with the Jaspers. I like those guys, and really when I watch Hawaii play, they went on their little runs, but guys, this team's not very good. Now, something again about Hawaii games, like they just feel kind of rigged. I don't know. Like, I swear, like the refs in all Hawaii games is not just basketball, by the way. This is in football. I don't really watch that much college baseball, but in the few college baseball games that I happen to bet on late at night because it's like midnight, there's something else on, Hawaii gets the benefit of the doubt all the time on every single call. I don't understand. And like, these are still, these are Big West refs, I think, or these are just like, are these just dudes from the crowd who are just from Hawaii and foul, everything, foul, foul. I don't get it. Guys, Hawaii, they shot 1 million free throws in the Mississippi Valley State game. And then in the East Texas A&M game, by the way, okay, in the Delta Devils game, let's just put this in perspective here. They shot 29 free throws in the Delta Devils game. By the way, Mississippi Valley State shot half of those free throws. Okay. The bigger one, though, when they played East Texas A&M. And again, I watched the full Mississippi Valley State game, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just free throw after free throw after free throw. You think that's bad? Guys, they shot 54 free throws against East Texas A&M. 54. They set a record for most free throws. I don't know if this is in Big West history. I don't think this is college basketball history, but I think it's Hawaii, definitely Hawaii history for most free throws attempted in a game. 54. I'm telling you, you can't play defense against this team. Still, I don't think they're 14 points better than Manhattan. They're really not. The Jaspers aren't that bad. They're 2-1. They've done a lot of travel. This team put up 83 points at USC. And yeah, USC put up 114, but USC is way better than Hawaii is. This is fine. Manhattan can score, and they can score quite a bit. Now, the way, again, the refs are going to try to rig this for Hawaii. Oh, anytime Hawaii drives the hoop, foul. I mean, I need some actually fair officiating tonight. And I know, again, I'm complaining, and we actually won our last bet at Hawaii. But I mean, going into Hawaii is it's a war zone, it feels like. Because everything's stacked against you when you bet against the Rainbow Warriors. I'm gonna go with Manhattan though. They've got momentum. They beat Utah Tech. They've established themselves as the second best team in this little, 4-team Hawaii beats up on, just teams who want a free trip out to Honolulu tournament. I'm going to go with the Jaspers. I'm going with the Jaspers here at 13.5. The Rainbow Warriors are not that much better than them. And I don't think Hawaii is going to be able to get that many open looks from beyond the arc again. So I'm going to go with Manhattan here on the road, plus 13.5 in Honolulu to cover against the Rainbow Warriors. Folks, that'll do it for our college basketball best bets here on Friday, November 14th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily college basketball best bets. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.